Hey there, friends and family. This is Dan. I'm here with the podcast, the Dan and Adam Are Afraid podcast. It is Sunday, March 30th, 2025. I'm going to mention up top, folks, I keep saying 2024 and I keep not being corrected. Can't trust my co-host to correct me on the year. I'll say 2024. He'll just blow right through it. He'll be like, that's fine. Time's relative. I'm joined here by my the tourist co-host, Adam.
Yo, look at my shit. Look at my shit. I got cats. I got cat food meowing all over the place. What's up, Dan?
What's up, yo? It is episode 44. And, I don't know. We got a lot to talk about today. I don't really have much up front. I do have one story of the week to talk about. I'll give Adam some space. I'm going to give you some... What does that mean? I'm going to give you some time, some space. What is the wicked thing? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about, listener.
You need to give some time and space to my white body. Sit your white ass down so my white ass can talk. But I don't have much to talk about.
To talk about this week?
Okay, good. I went on a bike ride out in nature, folks. I'm just fucking telling you again. Like my co-host sent me, take advantage of it while you still can. You're going to enter a no human zone here soon where it's like, oh, you can no longer leave 15 minutes outside your home. So get ready for it.
Good morning, sunshine.
I've just been playing that clip since we've been getting started here.
Good morning, sunshine.
Nature's great. I'm gonna start doing walks. That's my thing. I'm gonna start just doing a walk every day. I'm gonna go outside and walk for like at least 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Just walk around my neighborhood. Yeah, that's it, folks. I got a guy mowing outside Sunday. They got people out here mowing on God's day, the Lord's day.
Yeah, why do they got this guy?
We're working on the Lord's day.
Why do they got this guy working on a Sunday? Like, couldn't you just... I don't get it.
It's my job.
Couldn't you just be out there mowing on a Tuesday? My people do.
It doesn't make any sense. I think they're like saving money by splitting the services up, because then also people show up on like Tuesday or Monday or something, and I'm like, why do they have to show up twice?
Yeah.
But also, this guy sucks. This guy's out here still just I could still hear him. They were like, this is a huge complex. I should not still be able to hear this guy.
Yeah.
9:30. All right. Anyway, I do have a story to talk about this week. Adam's probably not heard about this. I don't know. Are you on Twitter anymore? Are you on X? Are you on the Nazi website anymore?
Interestingly enough, I only use X for like gay pornography, which I don't feel... I feel like that's woke. And like that's just like what it feels like the entirety of fucking X is. Like there's... Yeah.
So yes, for gay pornography. I gotcha. Yo. I'm reacting to this audio legally. Yo. So the video is titled, I Hate This So Much. Now, Adam, what do you think went down in this video that I just played?
I mean, if I can only guess, I would have to assume it's something salacious.
So it's a video of that's titled Mike Mosh Pit. So this is Mike, the rapper we saw in 2018, I think. We saw Mike and we saw Earl Sweatshirt and we saw Live, live.e.
A quick correction, audience. We did not really get to see much of Mike, if you recall. The club promoters had a horrible setup and... Yeah.
Or I kill myself, and I swear to God.
That's my reaction to talking about that show, because I really loved Mike. I was so sad. by that situation. So I was going to go see Mike this year, but then Panda Bear is going to be here at the same time, so I have to pass on Mike yet again. Anyway, so that Mike Mosh Pit. It's Mike performing on stage, and you got some white kids up front, these like young-looking kids who look like soccer players. And they're soccer hooligans, and they're playing chess. Like some kids holding up a chessboard in front of the audience, and they're playing chess. Like they're taking moves against each other while he's performing, and they're not even looking at him. They're facing each other, like sideways, like I would be if you were Mike's point of view.
Okay.
And yeah, so there's a lot of reactions to that. What is your reaction to that? If you went to a show and you saw people are playing chess in front of a very popular black artist?
I don't want to sound like an old man, but I'm like, God, you kids with your fucking pranks and your cell phones, listen to the music.
So Mike did end up responding. He said, yeah, fuck them little Italian kids, LMFAO. I told them what's up after I finished performing Stop Worry, but I wasn't about to stop rapping because they was being nerds. Also, I wasn't going to discipline no 16-year-olds. That's their parents' job. But just to reiterate, that shit is not cool. Memes are funny and stuff, but something, at least one thing in your life, gotta be sacred. So you know when to shut the fuck up and when somebody's being for real. Obviously, like, a lot of the reactions to the incident were just like, man, these racist white honkies at the show acting like they're really smart, right? Because they're trying to project smartness by playing chess at a black show.
Yeah.
Intelligence.
Yeah, you definitely get like a trolling aspect of, hey, look, we got, we're the intelligent kids up front at this show.
They're just trying to get, like, you know, views on TikTok or whatever. But I don't know. It just, you know, it came with a lot of attacks this week of, like, people being like, if you're a white rap fan and you only listen to underground rap, like, I don't trust you. You're part of the bad group of people. And that made me reflect on myself. I was like, yeah, I mean, what do you think, Adam? Would you describe me as someone who only listens to underground rap?
Well, no, I mean, I know, Dan, you have the new, you're listening to the new Drake album. You know, you're a big, okay, I'm trying to make a joke there, but I mean,
Korine and Sunshine.
I think both of us, like, with the exception of Kendrick Lamar, like, there's not a lot of mainstream that I listen to.
This is all going to change, folks, when we watch Circus Maximus, when we get really into Travis Scott and Future.
Mask off.
That's the thing. I don't listen to Future. I don't listen to Playboy Cardi. I don't listen to, you know, all these like popular black artists. So I get it. I stick to a very specific culture within hip hop. And I may fall in line with these kids who are fucking playing chess at the Mike show. And that made me feel bad about myself. That's my topic for the week, is just white guilt.
As should be the topic every week. Right, my fellow whites?
And to finish the story off, final tweet. This is from Tiger's World. TYGRSWRLD. Sorry. Between that Mike shit with those nerds, the AI Ghibli shit, and dorks complaining about Swamp Izzo's ad-libs, I've never felt more validated in thinking that pretentiousness and gatekeeping within art should come back. And I'd go as far as to saying art needs those things to exist. Respond. No.
Korine and Sunshine.
Good morning, sunshine. Yeah, I'm not gonna make a long-winded thing, but I get it. You know, you just can't have some people. I don't like it when I see people just coming on into any old thing and being like, as like creators especially, and being like, and tastemakers. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, if you don't have, if you're just like some new guy coming in, and you're like, but I got big ideas. Yeah, maybe you do need to be told to, like, okay, well, run those mic cables and stop talking. Like, we need this shit set up. No one cares about your ideas right now. The big boys are coming in, so yeah, fuck this millennial bullshit. I feel like my generation started it.
I know we're talking about Harmony Korine. He's been making AI movies, but the AI Ghibli shit is very dumb. It's a Snapchat filter.
Yeah, I've seen it everywhere, and no.
It just blew up. People like, oh my God, the riz I'm getting from women with these pictures is insane.
I'm about to raw dog this woman. Wait, means something else entirely.
Dude, this new generation's fucked. It's been 5 years since COVID, so all these new 18-year-olds are just all fucked. They're just all fucked up.
Yeah, it's crazy that there's like people that, like one of my coworkers, he didn't have a high school graduation. He graduated on Zoom, and I don't know. I mean, he doesn't seem all fucked up. I don't think he's like terminally online. Everyone's terminally online nowadays. Fucking, if you're under the age of like,
I'm online, folks.
You're under the age of 25. Like,
Morning sunshine.
yeah, but they're cooked, chat. Everything needs to collapse. The film industry.
Chad, am I cooked?
Collapse the film industry. You know, I was Harmony Korine, who we're talking about today, was making this thing where he's like, yeah, we're probably not going to see film as we understood it in a few years. And it's like, yeah, maybe that needs to happen. So much fucking money and things and so many fucking bros, just finance bros. Let's get our iPhones out there and make a movie, Dan. You saw Trash Humpers.
Speaking of, I saw a trailer while I was watching various YouTube videos today and yesterday and this weekend. Pat, this week, have you seen the new trailer for David Blaine's Do Not Attempt?
I think I saw a bit. Yeah, he's like, I saw him like in front of a snake, and then I hit skip because it was David Blaine. But maybe am I being too harsh? Chat, am I being too harsh on David Blaine?
I just thought it was funny because Harmony Korine is directed two David Blaine specials, and you know David Blaine was the one who was helping him film a lot of Fight Harm when Harmony Korine was just getting his ass kicked all the time. So I was just like, man, they should just let Harmony Korine do the new David Blaine, but he did not. So imagine all the AI creatures they'd interview. They'd just be doing a. All right. We watched a movie this week. We're back in Harmony Korine land. And this week we revisited 2012's Spring Breakers.
Some kids, they want to grow up, be president. Some kids want to be a doctor. You know, I just wanted to be bad.
Let's just get that fucking cash and go on spring break.
They kicked me out of school. I thought that was great. Shit, that was the best thing in the world.
Spring break, bitches.
I'm about making money. This is the fucking American dream.
I'll always remember this trip. This is where it's gonna be forever.
Now let me guess. Spring Breakers?
Somebody go shop.
Why are you here?
Come on, y'all. Why acting suspicious? Get in.
Give me a chauffeur.
Yeah. You can play Beyonce.
I don't know these people and I don't know the guy. I want to go home.
Then you're gonna be back right where you started. And you're gonna be thinking, maybe I missed something out there. I knew y'all was special from the moment I saw you. You're my motherfucking soulmates. Let's cause some trouble now. Break, bitches!
Down, motherfucker, down!
These sweets belong to me. Y'all wanna die tonight?
You're fucking scared, aren't you? What if we just used you to come here? Spring break forever, bitches.
Spring Break Forever is a 2012. Spring Breakers is a 2012 American crime film written and directed by Harmony Korine, starring James Franco, Selena Gomez, Vanessa Hudgens, Ashley Benson, Rachel Korine, and Gucci Mane. Adam, when did you see Spring Breakers?
Was it may have been 2014? Maybe in 2013. I know you were the one who showed it to me. And
so we're probably talking like 2014, 2015, maybe.
Yeah. And, believe it or not, Dan, I don't remember a lot about this movie the first time I saw it. A little inebriated. So it's almost like I watched it for the first time 2 nights ago.
This movie released on September 4th, 2012 at the Venice Film Festival. And then in the United States, it released on March 22nd, 2013. So this came out just after my 18th birthday, maybe my 19th birthday. I'm not going to do the math. but I was really young, and I had my license for the first time. I had moved out here. So yeah, I mean, this is around when we met, shortly after this. But I was driving around for the first time. I lived out here in, I think, Gilbert, and I'd go to the AMC a lot. I'd get stoned in the parking lot and go watch a movie. And this is one of the movies I saw in my new area. Probably went to a Harkins out here. But yeah, I remember just being like, seeing commercials for Spring Breakers, and I was like, wow, it's weird that they have all these big Disney Channel like family stars in this movie that seems like it's going to be about like crime in Florida. And I think the audience, I don't remember the audience loving this movie, but I was like, wow, this is really strange. So I saw this in theaters, and it's my first Harmony Korine movie. I think this is most people's first Harmony Korine movie, unless you're familiar with Gummo or Kids.
Yeah. Yeah, it was my...
it's also my most successful.
Yeah, it seemed like it's...
I guess up top.
No, go ahead.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, clearly it struck a chord, seeing that he made the next movie he made, which I didn't know. I heard of Beach Bum. I know I'm tilted the bean can a bit, but I was like, oh, another movie about the beach.
Yeah, 2019. It's quite a bit later. And yeah, I missed that one completely, folks. I have not seen Beach Bum, so I'm excited to get one more Harmony Korine movie I haven't seen. But yeah, I guess up top, we do talk about budgets on the show. It doesn't really matter with Harmony Korine, but budget was $5 million estimated. Box office was $31.7 million. So this made its money back and more. This was a smash hit. This is Harmony Korine's probably first and only commercial success. Watching a lot of interviews around this era because I just wanted to get so many notes about it, but he was asked about that, and he's like, no, it's great. Like, I hope all my movies are commercial, but they usually aren't. So it's like when it happens, it's amazing. It's great, yeah. So he's very pleased with his movie finally being seen by a wider audience, his movies. And that's true, right? Because I saw it. Was I going to see a Harmony Korine movie in 2013 if it wasn't Spring Breakers? Probably not. So, yeah, it really brought him to a wider audience, which is just, interesting. Because usually it doesn't happen. I guess David Lynch kind of does, but I mean, you ask a random person about David Lynch, they don't know who that is still.
Yeah, it's...
let alone Harmony Korine.
It's nice to see when, like, you get the convergence of artistic expression and mainstream success. It's now, of course, like some directors and creators, they will say, no, that sucked. I hated it. That everyone loved it. And then I got pigeonholed for 20 years.
Spring Breakers, man. I don't know. I guess I'll say, like, again, I'm in the afterglow of having seen Baby Invasion, and I'm just like, Baby Invasion's the best thing ever. I'm waiting on an Edgelord shirt to come in the mail. I'm all in. I've bought all the DLC packs. We'll get to it, folks, eventually.
He's got the Fortnite skin.
But in the afterglow of that...
That would be sick.
In the afterglow of all of this, it's so hard for me to be excited about movies. But that said, I watched this movie 4 to 5 times this week. I watched a lot of extras. So this is a really good movie, and it was nice to revisit, but I was a little skeptical coming back to it, that it was going to be as good as I remember, because when I saw this, I was a young kid. I was like 19. It was one of the first, like, weird movies I saw in the theater. I've seen all these other Harmony Korine movies. I've just seen so many movies since 2013. Is this movie going to hold up to my memory? Because I've been saying, oh yeah, Spring Breakers fucking rocks forever. And I'm pleased to report, I think it does hold up. What makes Spring Breakers Spring Breakers? Well, here's some words that came up a lot during interviews I read. Liquid narrative. Pop poem. Dreamy. Impressionistic. Do you think those words fit when you describe Spring Breakers to somebody?
I love the term pop poem because So I kept thinking about this movie. You know, I like to waste time and make and wow myself. And yeah, there is like kind of a pop music feel to this movie. There's like parts of the times where it like kind of goes back and will repeat something that happened earlier, like a chorus or a verse or something. And yeah, this is definitely has a, you know, like a pop music. You know, it's commenting on pop music for sure.
So that brings us to something I had written down. This is from a Slant magazine interview on March 14th, 2023. So slightly before the official release here in the United States. The interviewer asks, "The way the narrative unfolds visually is also quite remarkable. There's a lot of cross-cutting and chronological manipulation. Can you briefly describe that technique and the reasons behind it?" He said, "Well, again, I wanted to make something that was very experiential, something that was like a liquid narrative with micro scenes, like something you'd see in electronic music. I thought of it like loop-based music, where you'd have certain things that would repeat and come back, refrains. I even thought of pop music, where you have choruses and mantras, which in the film almost become like catchphrases and hooks and earworms and things. So I always thought about the movie more in terms of a very physical music experience, something bombastic with images and sounds falling out of the sky. You could even say it's something close to like a drug experience." So he uses that word a lot, liquid narrative and micro scenes. Now you ask yourself, what is micro scenes? What is liquid narrative? He described it as, it's like time has exploded and images and sounds are coming from all directions. So like in the movie, you know, in layman's terms to explain to listeners who are like fucking Fred Flintstone intelligence level, that would be like, you know, well, they get arrested. There's a scene where they get arrested at the hotel. And it's not told chronologically necessarily, right? We're cross-cutting the party to them already having been arrested inside of the back of a police car. Like, you know, the red and blue lights flashing on them, and you get each individual character. But you get that during cross-cutted the actual party they're at, and that leads to them getting arrested. So it's like not chronological. And that's what I'd say about the whole movie, right? Is if you come to this movie and you're like wanting to be very critical, I guess, you'd be like, this thing's edited like shit. Like, it doesn't make sense. Because if you're coming to this movie for like a normal experience, a normal narrative, you're going to be like, well, I don't understand what even happened. You could walk away with that complaint, I think.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, there's so many times, like you mentioned the police time, and then, you know, even at the end when like they're making their phone calls to their parents, you're thinking, oh man, this is the last time. They know they're gonna die. But then later it's kind of like, oh wait, were they making those phone calls after all the finale, all the action? So I thought that was a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
I want you to come out with me next year, Grandma. I think it'd be so much fun.
And I think like that's like my big takeaway from this movie was just how fucking fun it was. Like yeah, it's made by Harmony. It's made by Gaspar. But it's still just a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun, Jan.
Did you notice that this movie was shot on 35mm film?
I didn't. But after reading an interview with the director of photography, that makes sense because that guy loves film. He's like, I always want to do film. If they say it's digital, my first question is why. And so yeah, that's I did not, but that's cool. I mean, if I was a good DP, I would know. I would notice.
Well, that's the thing too, is he did Enter the Void. He worked with Gaspar Noé. That Benoit, I don't know his last name or how to pronounce it, but Benoit is who he is referred to in Harmony interviews.
Benoit Dabby.
He worked for Gaspar Noé. Dabby. He worked for Gaspar Noé on like all of his movies, including Enter the Void. And he was recommended to Harmony because him and Gaspar Noé are like good friends. I just thought that was really cute.
And I like this quote by him on shooting with film versus digital. He says, for me, when we shoot in film, everybody's focused on the action, on what we have to do, the actors, the director, the DP, and everybody else. When we shoot on digital, it's completely different. Everybody's shooting for what seems like forever with no cuts. And he goes on to kind of like, there is something that comes out of like having to record for a certain time. And then you literally run out of film for that specific. And so you have to like change it out. And when you change it out, you talk about it and you're like, oh yeah, like let's try this again.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem with such disposable everything we have now. I agree with that. It's just, it's easier to make decisions and change things. It just the process changes altogether. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like recording audio with tape, I guess, because it's like, well, you could still do it, but you have to be disciplined to be like, no, we're not. Just because we can hit stop and go back like that, we should just keep recording it on the same fuck. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, dog?
It would usually lose all the creativity that would come from the limitations of being like, well, we only have this much tape.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. You
have to divide that up for the whole album.
Yeah, you almost need to get one of those little timers or something like Starbucks employees use to be like, well, the timer went off, so we have to pretend we're changing out the film now. Nobody would. Everyone.
Harmony. Whoa. So what's the obvious question, Adam? What's the obvious question about Spring Breakers?
How did Vanessa Hudgens get so hot? Is that the right question?
Kind of. We have history with Vanessa Hudgens during the opening of the pandemic. She was one of the voices when she said, until July, sounds like a bunch of bullshit. I have since forgiven Vanessa Hudgens in my heart, and she's really great in this movie. But no, a very similar question is just like, how did Vanessa Hudgens agree to do this role? Hot off of High School Musical, 1, 2, and 3. And you have, obviously, Selena Gomez off of Wizards of Waverly Place on Disney Channel. You have Ashley Benson from Pretty Little Liars on ABC Family. And then you have Rachel Korine, which is really just, Harmony described as like, well, she would help the other girls like go farther because she'd be willing to do so many things. And he's like, and I love her because she's my wife. So yeah, how did they agree? How did this conversation happen? What was Harmony Korine's prior movie to this? Fucking Trash Humpers. So they're like, yeah, I'll agree to be in your weird movie, Harmony Korine. So it's just like on its face, like why? That's why people saw this is like, why are they in this movie that Harmony Korine directed? Well, Selena Gomez's mom was a huge fan of Harmony Korine. Her favorite movie is Gummo. And when Selena told her like, oh, Harmony Korine wants me to be in this movie or whatever, she was ecstatic. And, Selena Gomez was like immediately like, yeah, I'll come audition in where the fuck Harmony Korine's from.
Selena, this movie is totally in your Q zone.
And, these girls at the time are trying to break out into like, serious acting roles. They don't want to just be in family stuff. So they're trying to make a transition. And during the interviews, various festivals, that's what Selena Gomez is like really saying. And I think it's really interesting how like innocent she is because she almost reflects her character in the movie, Faith. Just in the real life too, because she's just like so innocent. And a lot of her complaints are just like, well, my young fans are coming to the set and I don't want them to see the things that are happening. And she's literally stressed out about this the entire production. Just like, oh, my fans. And do you know the twins in this movie? The two twins?
Without looking it up, were they in The Matrix?
The ATL twins?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
They're known for like double penetration. They love having sex with one woman together and having one woman together. That's like their thing. But I don't know. I don't even know why I'm bringing this up now. I've already lost my train of thought. But they're in this movie, folks. And oh yeah, I guess they posted a picture with Selena Gomez and all of her fans freaked the fuck out. And they like attacked him. So it was like one of those proto things where people today are like, oh, Taylor Swift fans. Back then it was Selena Gomez fans. And they still exist. If we say bad things about Selena Gomez, they're going to come for us. I have nothing bad to say about Selena Gomez.
I love Selena Gomez and Benny's new album. It's great.
I saw that album came out. because I just pay attention to every record that comes out. Yeah, so how did this movie come about? Harmony Korine had an idea. So usually when Harmony Korine makes a movie, based on all these interviews I watched this week, he describes always having an image in mind that he has to backtrack and build a story around to get to. So in Mr. Lonely, the image was the nuns falling out of the airplane in the sky and doing like BMX tricks and shit. He was like, how do I get there? In this movie, he imagined girls in bikinis and ski masks robbing fat tourists on the beach. He built the story around the image, and he said, hey, where do these girls come from? What culture would they come from? And he thought of the American spring break. He started collecting images of spring break and wrote the script during spring break. And that's one thing I'll say too. When he says about writing, he's like, I don't understand how people can write these imaginative, crazy, like otherworldly scripts if you're just in your apartment, the same place where you tuck your daughter in. He doesn't understand how you can do that. So he's like always on location. He always goes out months in advance to whatever location he's filming in, and he just like vibes and writes. It's not dissimilar to like Dario Argento is like, I always have to be in a fancy hotel. But yeah, that's how it came about.
Yeah, I think that's
Gucci Mane. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. A lot of writers have to put themselves. I would say good writers, they got to put themselves somewhere. So you can't, they can't just be. And maybe that's my issue. I'm trying to sit here and write in the same home I take dumps in and cook dinner. So I'm gonna go out into the woods.
Yeah, bring a notebook with you next time. Gucci Mane I wanted to bring up. And why is Gucci Mane in this movie? Well, Harmony Korine is a huge fan of Gucci Mane. He described him as the trap Frank Sinatra. He's like, I just love him. And I guess he was in prison at the time, and he called like his agent or his coach. He's like, Coach K. He's like, how do I talk to Gooch? What's up with Gooch? It's like, he's in prison. It's like, well, can I talk to him? And he talked to Gucci Mane. He's like, hey, I want you in this movie. You could be like a great actor in it. And he's like, you just can't reoffend. If you don't reoffend, you can be in the movie. And so he didn't reoffend. He got out, and he was in Spring Breakers. And all the gang members you see in the movie are like his posse in real life. They just showed up on set with him.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love Gucci Mane in this movie. Gucci Mane's tight. He still has a strong relationship with Harmony Korine and Edgelord now. He has some Twitter pics with them recently. So that's I got a lot to talk about with Spring Breakers. I'm just going to kind of talk about it as we go. But one thing I do want to just bring up front is, because we've been talking about this, just a general idea before we get into the plot. This is from London Q&A. He said, yup, I guess I've always been obsessed with like tones in films and like a feeling. So I wanted this movie to be something that was like post-articulation. In that way, it's more inexplicable and more like a magic or an energy or something. It's more like a drug experience. It's something that's more almost like a trance, some kind of transcendence, like a peak and disappearing into black. And so much of it has to do with the feel of the locations and the ambiance of the film. I said that this movie, in a lot of ways, is about a culture of surfaces and very much about the way things look and a kind of candy-coated reality. And all the pathology and the menace and the violence is the residue. I wanted the film to look like it was lit with Skittles. You could just taste it. And so, yes, that's a big part when I'm making movies. I like to go down whenever, a couple months early, get lost. I don't even ask questions. I just start driving around. That's my fun on locations. Adam, how does Spring Breakers open?
It opens with a beautiful shot of the aforementioned Spring Breakers with some lovely Skrillex playing in the background.
Skrillex and Clifford Martinez, Big Red Dog. Did the soundtrack here. So very contemporary soundtrack, and Cliff Martinez we love from Nicholas Winding Refn's movies. And Too Old to Die Young.
Oh yeah, Cliff Martinez, very renowned composer.
So this movie is like a never-ending music video. I mean, I said that, but there are some lulls here and there. But we got a lot of music in this movie. It brought me back to 2013 immediately when I saw Skrillex playing. I don't remember which one that is. Do you remember exactly what song that is? It's not Scary. Is it? It's not Scary Monsters and Night Sprites, is it? It's the other one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good way. It's the other one. Yeah.
Bangarang or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. But it's he's like I watched it so many times this week. But there's tits and the spring break. And I didn't think about this at first, but like that's like why would that be at the beginning of the movie? Because then you hard cut to them at the university. Right? So like it's basically drawing a contrast to the very beginning of like, oh, this is what they want to be doing. They don't want to be in this boring lecture. Did you pay at all attention to the lecture?
Yeah, he's talking about like the post Reconstruction, right? Or not the civil rights.
He is. He was talking about Reconstruction for sure. The era. And you have some hints, right, at maybe what the movie is portraying is the result of Reconstruction to an extent. But then he immediately cuts and he's like, and then we'll talk about the civil rights movement or whatever. And they don't give a shit. They're like drawing penises and like fake blowing cocks and shit. like I hate this place. You also have Selena Gomez's character, Faith, who is very overtly religious and attends like a meetings with like a group meeting with like a bunch of like a church group maybe, right?
Yeah.
And you have
like
a pastor played by a WWE wrestler. And that was my Letterboxd review of this movie. It says, but when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. How cool is that? Dudes, how cool is that? So he's like a very cool pastor, and he says shit like, are you jacked up on Jesus?
Yeah. I really love that. That whole fucking like prayer shit, man. I was just like, shit. Like, it's really setting her character up to be the odd one out.
No, why do you think that's in the movie, Adam? Why would they have this contrast of what's going to happen with this faith stuff and the debauchery and stuff? Why is this in the movie, you would say? Because I have an answer. I have a legit answer for it.
Well, I mean, later on when she leaves, they lose faith, and that's when the movie kind of takes a weird, like a violent turn for sure. But I want to hear your answer.
Harmony Korine was asked about it during an interview, and his reaction to the question was like, hey, I don't want to say it because if like I wrote it, I directed it, and then I say this is why it's in the movie, it just kills it. So I'm reticent to say it myself, but it makes total sense is like Harmony Korine's way of making movies. And if you hear people talk about Harmony Korine and his movies, what they like about his movies is they're very like anti-moralistic and anti-judgmental. He portrays all cultures pretty much in the same light. The high culture, low culture, whatever it is, it's not seen through like necessarily a biased lens. And what does the church do? The church is very moralistic. The church is very judgmental. What is Selena Gomez's character in this movie? Very judgmental. At a certain point, I'm like, is she just racist? She's in a room full of black people. She's like, I'm just not comfortable. But basically, like, that's just supposed to show you a contrast between like, those two extremes. I think that's interesting. So yeah, they want to go on spring break and they don't have any money. You got scenes of them in like an abandoned college where everyone's already gone to spring break. They're just in like an abandoned bathroom, like a school bathroom, like square room that they're just like sitting on the floor in. There's weird spaces they're shot in. And we have Britt and Candy at the church group. One of the girls is like, you better be careful. Those girls got demon blood. Britt and Candy. And then you got what is Rachel Korine's name? I've seen her name so many times. I've said it and read it so many times. Cotty. So you got Cotty, Britt, Candy, and Faith. So Faith isn't involved with this, but Cotty, Candy, and Britt go and they rob a local diner, looks like. They wear ski masks and they have water guns and they look like real pistols. And they have like a hammer, so they go in there and it's like, "You want to die? No. Give me your money. Get out on the ground." And it's an interesting shot. Someone made a comparison to Tenebrae. Do you remember Tenebrae, Adam?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where they have that tracking shot of the house of the killer, breaking in and stuff. It's just a really long tracking shot around an entire house, and it ends with the killer breaking into a window. And in this movie, you have a tracking shot around the entire building when they're doing the robbery. Just one shot of Cotty listening to like Nicki Minaj in the car while she's driving around. You see just every time they cross a window, they're moving in the scene too, so there's choreography involved. And they get out and run into the car, and they got all this money. They can go to spring break. They take a big vacation bus. Adam, did you ever go to spring break? Do you have any relationship with spring break? Because I feel very disconnected from whatever the fuck that is.
No, I mean, I was on spring break a couple weeks ago, so fortuitous that we saw this movie now, but no, the closest I ever did, it was like a Christian getaway. So I was Faith in this from this movie. It was a little Christian getaway up into the mountains where we prayed and we got jacked for Jesus.
But you never went to like Florida and like partied on the beach or anything?
No,
MTV,
that seems
VH1.
That seems like square alert. That seems terrifying.
Yeah, not really. And you see my skin? You see how pale I am? I don't go out in the sun. I did not go to spring break. So they go down to spring break. Now you have to think about these characters as one character, right? So it's not really four distinct characters necessarily. It's one character. And as they get bopped off one by one, we're losing our innocence. We're losing our faith. Once Faith is gone, things amp up. We start doing more violence. Once Cotty's gone, all bets are off. And that's what essentially it is four distinct parts of one being. Harmony Korine's very specific about this in interviews. Which makes total sense, I mean, for what it is. So they do a lot of partying. I love the music. You said you watched this with your wife, right? What does your wife think about this movie? I'm really interested to hear about that.
I mean, she really liked it. She even this morning, like when she came downstairs, she was like spring break. It was. I could tell she was engaged, and enough to a point where she was like telling James Franco to shut up a few times. Just like, oh God, stop saying, because like he does. James Franco's. We didn't disavow him yet, but he's so amazing in this fucking movie, and like the way he talks is just like it's infectious. And yeah, like I was surprised she liked it. I even told her, I was like, look, this is like kind of a violent ass movie. You might not want, and she was like, no, it's fine. As long as there's no animal, like as long as there's no cats being hunted, she was fine.
There's no rape either, sexual assault.
Yeah, if anything, I thought as a Harmony Korine movie, this is a fairly tame, like, I was like, oh, this is tame as far as like the violence goes.
It makes sense that it's like his most commercial work for sure in that way. But I don't know. We'll see later. He's not like super violent or has like a lot of assault. He does have assault in like kids, but he didn't even direct that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your wife liked it. That's interesting. I like that. That's cool. I would expect people to hate this one. I think general audiences hate this movie. But I like I was saying, it's like such a time capsule of 2013 as well. It's just like as you watch it, you're like, wow, I remember 2013. I remember 2012. I remember the early 2010s. I miss it, to be honest with you. Times we're in now, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, they party. They do a lot of partying, and you have a lot of monologue scenes of Selena Gomez just being like, it's so perfect. We finally found ourselves. And this, I guess, brings me to that scene when they're in the hot tub and she's like talking to Candy and Britt. She's like, wouldn't it be great if we could just stop time and be in this moment forever? I feel like I could be myself here like I was supposed to be, y'all. And then they just start making fun of her. She's like, I'm not drunk enough for this. But there's an interview part where the interviewer and I think it was the Slant interview says, the soundtrack for Spring Breakers features Nicki Minaj's Moment for Life, and the girls speak often about holding on to great moments in the film. Is that largely what this movie is for you? A fantasy about impossibility of clinging on to a moment or clinging to a moment? He said, wow. Yeah, man, definitely. That's definitely one of the big things the movie speaks to for sure. Is that something you feel often yourself, wanting to capture a moment in time? Sure, that's why I used to do drugs a lot. I just wanted to isolate the moment, slow it down, examine it. I always felt life moved too quickly, but that's the way life is. And that also makes sense, because like that's a huge theme in the movie, is her just being like, can we just pause time? Spring break forever.
You know, it makes me feel like as much drugs as we hear Harmony using, I'm like, oh, but I don't know. There's like different types of different ways to use drugs, and like dumb people use drugs, smart people use drugs. Oftentimes it's the smart people that get addicted to them. And like, yeah, I think there's something cerebral about, I don't know. This almost is like I'm not going to say anti-drug movie, but it just shows like how what am I even trying to say? It just shows how like this certain aspect of life can be very, very rough towards you and very, very dark. But I really agree with that mentality of like, yeah, I was just trying to slow time down. You know, I'm trying to capture moments by being high. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds about right.
It's an interesting perspective. I've probably never examined my relationship with stuff. Now we meet Alien. I posted in the Discord. Yeah, we got a podcast Discord, folks. You can't be on it unless you come on the podcast. But I posted lyrics to James Franco's beautiful song that opens this movie when we see him. He says, "Junkies at my door. They know the secret knock. It go one time for the reefer, two time for the rock. Baking soda my best friend. My fork is my fiance. My crackpot sing and dance. I call that bitch Beyonce." He's not a good rapper in this movie. Go ahead and disavow James Franco now, Adam.
Actually, coming into it, I'm going to go ahead and say that, you know what? I'm a James Franco truther. Man's been set up.
Uh-oh.
No.
Abort.
I don't know. Like, see, I'm a horrible person. I read about, he slept with tried to sleep with a 17-year-old in a place where 17 was like the age of consent. So I was like, well, that's gross, but criminal. But then there's other things. Yeah.
Yeah, this is some other stuff.
Probably what made my wife, like, she started cracking up reading like how he wore a Time's Up pen, because he kind of came out himself and was like, this is what I did. And people were like, no, fuck you. Your time, you can't just wear that pen and be like, oh, time's up. You can't be D. Reynolds walking into the conference room and be like, time's up, time's up, time's up.
Yeah, he's canceled now. So no James Franco, but you know, that's fine. I guess he's really great in this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all I'm gonna say. And
look, he gave us what we need. He can go fuck off now, you know, with all of his fucking money. Like, I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure some people wish that he wasn't fine, but I mean, I'm just watching movies. I'm watching movies. I'm watching art. You know, I'm like that annoying professor who's like, now don't write your paper over all the drugs Miles Davis used. I want to know about his music.
Yeah, you're going to have bad people in movies, folks. But he's great in this movie, and I praise him for his performance. It's really good. Yeah, we're introduced to Alien at the beach party. Eventually the girls get arrested, and we get introduced Alien formerly when he bails them out. I thought it was an interesting detail. It's like, why are they in bikinis at the sentencing?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess, I mean, you know, one unrealistic detail, maybe the bikinis, but also the fact that they were given blankets while they were in their jail cell. My understanding is like you get sent to you don't get a blanket in jail. Like not until you get
what if you're in a bikini?
You better get those. You guys better huddle up.
And so Selena Gomez immediately is just like, I don't like this guy. Why are we going with this guy? And yeah, they get into a life of just hanging out in a pool room, and it's too much for Selena Gomez's character, and she's out. You have the scene where James Franco's trying to come on to her, and he just keeps touching her face. Do you think that was creepy?
Yes. I thought it was very...
It's creepy in this movie, folks. No, there's not much to this movie. It's basically that. You have Faith who leaves. You have a very touching musical scene where she leaves, and like, we'll see you later, Faith. And that's about an hour into the movie. And then you just have Cotty, Britt, and Candy who are there with James Franco. And really, we just start running into Gucci Mane's character, Archie, who grew up with James Franco's character. By the way, this movie was almost sued by Riff Raff because Riff Raff saw this and was like, "Why are you guys making a movie based on my image?" Do you know much about Riff Raff?
Who the fuck is Riff Raff?
He's a famous white rapper.
Oh,
who looks like James Franco in this movie.
Yeah. That's a dumb lawsuit. You can't sue. You can't copyright your fucking braids and.
It didn't actually happen. There's no court records, but there's rumors, and he was saying he was going to sue at the time. But anyway, really from there, we get in kind of a gang war. These white girls get into this weird racialized gang war, and we see the aftermath of it. Right? We see what happens. What are some scenes from here that you want to talk about? I have two at least.
I mean, I think like from what I remember, like the main scene I remember the first time I watched it, I was very excited, and like I paused it because like my wife got up to grab pour a second glass of wine, and I was like, oh shit, no, you got to see this. This is great. It's when they're in it's the two girls and they're in James Franco's bedroom, and like they take the guns from him, like he's showing off all his guns. He's like, yeah, fair now, I got guns.
Look at all my shit.
And they fucking point the guns at him, and they're like, you think you're just going to fuck us? Like, you think you're just going to bring us back here and fuck us? Like,
you think you just own us?
And like, they put the gun in his mouth, and he starts blowing that shit. And to me, that's like, yeah, I fucking love that scene. He's just like, you're sick. You're like...
that was not scripted. He came up with that idea on the spot because he's like, the way they were holding the guns, he's like, well, what if I fillet the guns?
I just sucked your dick. Like, yeah.
And then it became another thing because that's the moment they fall in love. Right? He's like, I just fell in love with y'all.
Yeah.
I'll do this every fucking night.
Yeah.
And then you get the Britney Spears scene, right?
Oh,
shortly after that.
So good. Probably
Notice Me.
My favorite Britney Spears song, of course. Yeah.
It's got to be up there for sure. And I guess Harmony Korine said the song always kind of felt violent. And so that's why he included it. And you get the slow motion scene. I love that stuff. That scene's like one of the ones you watch when you turn the movie on.
Oh yeah, like James Franco jumping up on the bed. And I also like want to note too, James Franco was like in character the whole time. Like even behind the scenes, he was still walking up being like,
he showed up on set. He showed up on set in character and scared Selena Gomez.
Yeah, like I think it's interesting. Like we've talked about James Franco's "Me Too," "Don't Me Too Me," and so he's in this movie with Harmony Korine, and like some people would see, Gummo and trash humpers and kids, and they would be like, "That Harmony Korine is a disgusting man." And then they might look at James Franco because all they've ever seen is Spider-Man and General Hospital, and they're like, he's an upstanding citizen. And I'm like, yeah, not really though. It's kind of flipped those two things, because Harmony seemed like, sure, he used a lot of drugs when he was younger, but he seems like a nice guy. He seems like he's probably a good family man. Like, I don't know.
He seems like he's a normal guy who's made a lot of mistakes.
And boy, don't I know about that.
Oh yeah, we both do. We all do, folks. Before I guess we move on to the ending stuff is so this is again from the Slant interview. So the one thing that seems a bit more literal or typical that we usually see from you is Selena Gomez's faith and her spiritual plight. Even her name is right on the nose. I'll assume this element and its execution are all part of the film's yin yang irony. Harmony Korine said, sure, and also there's no irony to her character. Her character is completely earnest and literal. I wanted to go with a name and a core that were completely honest and straightforward, because the other girls are much more abstract and wild. Always from the beginning, the characters were conceived and thought of as one single entity. One being, Faith's character is the first to leave, and she's the morality. So once the morality is stripped, you're left with something wild and dangerous, and what happens in the film becomes the result of that. When Cotty, or Rachel Korine, goes, it gets even more wild and dangerous. So they encounter Gucci Mane in the streets, and Gucci Mane's like, I should kill you. Be a good night to kill somebody. And his homegirl pops up and shoots like a fucking Uzi at their car as they drive off, and Rachel Korine gets shot in the arm. And you have, again, that cross-cutting, like, out of time kind of editing where she's like holding her wound, she's crying in the shower, and she's like, I just want to go home. And she leaves, and we are just left with Britt and Candy and James Franco. And it's basically go time, right? They're like, we're going to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah.
So they go, and just one of the most visually striking scenes in this movie is, like, for me, is at the end when they're coming up on Gucci Mane's mansion. And they're walking like a wooden bridge coming up from the water. They came in on a boat, and it's just pink, right?
Yeah.
The house is pink.
The
bridge is pink.
The dock is pink. Yeah. Even when they're on the boat, like they use like a black light, and Benoit was he was like, yeah, we had to find the right material because it wasn't working with the mask. They weren't popping. And yeah, the fucking colors in this whole movie, like, I was just like, shit, dude, it's so nice to look at. Like, I could just put this movie on and then just put some, mute it, put some fucking music on over it or whatever, a nice playlist you made, and, it's a nice accompaniment to the background of a party at that point. Also, I love we're getting to this scene where they're coming up on his mansion. Gucci Mane is in there with his ladies. We have a nice little sex scene, big bootied sex scene, I would say. And so we get Gucci Mane saying, damn, baby, feel like you're playing piano on my dick, like you playing Mozart. Wonderful.
He apparently fell asleep during that scene.
Oh, really? I mean, look, dude, like, it's not always about having sex. Sometimes it's just about enjoying, the cuddles, the body on body. I would fall asleep, maybe, be like, I'm in heaven. What do I want to do when I'm in heaven? Take a nap.
He's like, Harmony Korine would shoot for 48 hours. He was just tired, I guess.
Yeah.
And he gets his head fucking shot. So James Franco goes down first.
Almost unceremoniously. Like, both me and my wife were like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? Like, that was my reaction back in the day when I first saw it too. I was like, what the fuck? Like, a little sad too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little like, oh, like, I know this man's not a good man, but I didn't want him to die.
No, I mean, that's the interesting thing about this movie is he's like very clearly a bad, like, anti-hero. He's not a hero. He's like a bad guy. Technically, like, I don't think Harmony Korine's trying to like demonize anybody in his movies, but if someone's a bad guy, it's kind of him. He's the one who gets them into all this.
Yeah. Well, they get themselves out. That's for sure. I thought it was.
Yeah, they shoot Uzis and kill all these gang members.
And they are really good shots too. Like without even taking one hit, they just take out this entire compound. Very impressed with Vanessa Hudgens, man. And what was that? Ashley Babbitt?
Ashley Benson.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I can never tell them apart when they have the pink unicorn balaclava on or whatever, ski mask.
Oh God, sorry. Ashley Babbitt was the lady that was killed on January 6th. That's sorry. I just realized that.
And and so it basically ends because they go in there and they kill everybody in a dream-like way. Because it's like, how do they do this? And they leave in the sports car that Gucci Mane has, and they assumably return home, and they're like, we finally learned what it's like to find ourselves. Just absurd. And I actually, this leads me to a good point I should bring up. What I like to do is get little letterbox reviews. And there's one I liked. Let me find it. Adam, you, I guess, talk about something, and I'll find this review.
I'll talk about some. I like I said earlier, this whole scene, like when they're, the boat's going up on the dock, Vanessa, what are their names? Candy and Bandy. They're
Candy and Britt.
Yeah, Candy and Britt. They're like calling their mothers, and it's like kind of like this stuff you hear Faith saying, we went here, it was a lot of fun, we want you to come with us type of shit. And alluding back to the pop poetry of this film. You don't know, like, are they calling before, are they calling after? It's not really even that important. And I don't know, I was just filled with so much trepidation after James Franco, after Alien is shot in the fucking head. I was like, oh, these girls are definitely going to die. But they did not, as previously stated.
This review is from Logan Kenny on March 16, 2018. 5 stars. Says, it's key that this ends with the juxtaposition between the dead black bodies the protagonists have left in their way on the road to self-actualization. Their narration proving that the only repercussions that they'll have is a moral desire to finally be the good American girls that society wants them to be. In the lavish hedonism of the white tourists, dousing themselves in drugs, alcohol, and cum, thinking about nothing but pure pleasure. This is the American dream come to life. A world where the privileged get away with murder, and the spaces they leave behind are festering and rotting. Nothing left but now irrelevant bodies lying dead in the pool. This is an interesting read. I'm glad they didn't all die. But I'm not sure they didn't, because it's so dreamlike at the end. I'm like, did they all die on the dock?
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to look. That's a good point. It's a good question. Does it matter if they died or not? Like that guy's point he made is still kind of, like the juxtaposition. Putting side by side the violence and the party and the hedonism. I feel like there's a message there somewhere.
Might be. What do you think the message of this movie is, Adam? I think we've talked a lot about elements of the movie. I think it's hard because he, even in the outset, he's like, I want this movie to be post-articulation. Can you articulate a meaning to Spring Breakers? Just one?
I mean, I have thoughts that swim through my head, but then I'm like, am I just being like a studious little guy where I'm like, well, I think this movie was about, have it I almost want to say no. I don't like it's more, I think it's more about the feelings that come up while watching it. The feelings stirred up by, just the way, the shots, the editing. There's so many cuts in this fucking movie.
Yeah, it's hard to. I always feel that with Harmony Korine movies is I don't really know how to react to them. And I felt that way in 2013. I feel less that way now, but I do agree, yeah, it is all about the feelings that you get watching the movie. I think if you're a person who doesn't care about that, or I don't know, like there's a lot of low reviews for this on Letterboxd, my man.
Oh yeah, no, I was just seeing how many on IMDb. There's a lot of 1 out of 10 stars, which I don't fully.
What is it?
I just don't understand. It's an hour and a half too. Like time you can't get back. I'm like, what the fuck were you gonna do with that time? Like, shut the fuck. Like, I don't know.
2,477 likes by Hunter Strawberry. I think this movie gave me herpes.
Yeah, not to mention there's probably, like, everyone's so fucking irony poisoned. Like, I love the fact that the character of Faith is supposed to be, like, just a genuine, like, representation of faith and morality, where it's like, no, it's not. We're not trying to even make it's not even a statement on her. Like, it's not like she gets her comeuppance. You know, she's allowed to leave. She just is able to, like we've talked about that, like how, like, maybe we just need to be a little bit more genuine, a little bit more fucking, like, just less cynical.
What's my thought on these reviews is it's an interesting, like, mirror to the audience, where people are always like, their criticism is like, oh, Harmony Korine's so, like, nihilistic and whatever. And it's like, it's a lot of times it's the viewer who's nihilistic and can't tap into whatever he's trying to transmit. Like, all these ironic comments about this movie. Like, oh, he's my sleep paralysis demon, 3 stars.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. Once we get to Baby Invasion, like, this, we'll be talking about this a lot, but yeah. Well, I'll read one more review, and then we'll close out. This is from Will Menaker, one of my favorite internet guys from Chapo Trap House. Yeah, I support Chapo. I don't care. Come at me. 5 stars. He says, out of every 4 women, 1 is a good Christian girl. 1 will basically go along to get along either way, and 2 are fully demonic. This film is like a diamond laser transmitted from our present to the distant past of 2012. This is the future. This is America. This is spring break forever. Can you fucking believe that The Artist won Best Picture the same year this came out? My babies are hungry. My babies are starving, and they need to eat.
Damn, that's, yeah, because The Artist is such a, I mean, it's what Hollywood wants. It's what the Academy wants, is like a throwback to the more gentleman age of film.
That's why I kind of don't want to watch, like, we will on this show eventually, but that The Brutalist.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just, watching all this, like, the come way I came and talked about Baby Invasion with this week is just like, why are people so obsessed with the past? Why are we all obsessed with why is that the obsession with film? Like, you get old, you become a 50-year-old director, all of a sudden you're supposed to be directing, like, serials and shit.
Yeah.
Homages to the 1930s or 50s, and it's just like, you don't have to do that. You can make a movie as, because you know how old Harmony Korine was filming this? 39.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm about to be 39, so...
You don't have to grow up, man. You don't have to die.
You can live forever, and you can live forever.
Adam, would you recommend Spring Breakers?
100% to everybody. I sent it into the group chat with my brothers and dad, and I was like, y'all should watch this movie. It's fucking great. And then, like, to my dad specifically, I was like, this reminds me of your stepdaughter's ex-boyfriend, like James Franco. Like, you might love watching this movie because he gets it in the end. Yeah. Go check this out, guys.
Oh God, Book 2. Starring George Burns.
Hey there, friends and family. It's me, Dan. I'm here at the podcast. Of course, I recommend Spring Breakers. 5 stars. Go see Spring Breakers with all your friends. This is one for the ages. But I think it's really an interesting time capsule, like all of Harmony Korine's movies are. He always seems to be tapped into whatever era he's making the movie in. So I am very excited to, 2 weeks from now, to get into Beach Bum, see what he was up to in 2019. What's the vibe of 2019? But this is a very, very prescient movie, and feels nostalgic and ahead of its time all at once. And it's really easy to watch. You can watch this movie in like four or five times in a week, easy. Just keep throwing it on. You can throw it on in the background. It's great. It's like a lot of good music. But yeah, of course, I recommend Spring Breakers. I wish I had saw it in theaters a couple weeks ago and they put it out again.
And I could have. Like, there's nothing stopping me. The theater was like 15 miles from my house.
At least I saw it once. I saw it the first time in theaters. So now, let's give me a good 4K. But I'll say that Blu-ray I have is fucking stacked. There's so many extras on it. So check it out, folks. Recommend. High recommend. Adam, did you pick a movie for next week?
Man, I got movies coming out my ears. And Dan, pick a number 1 through 2.
I'm going number 1.
All right. Well, I guess we're continuing my. This is not a director necessarily; it's a writer. But his next film, we're going to be watching Human Nature. This movie came out in 2001, so we just didn't talk about how you don't need to be stuck in the past. And I'm like, but let's go back to that wonderful time. And this is written by Charlie Kaufman, directed by Michel Gondry. And I just want to read this blurb here. It's a woman is in love with a man in love with another woman, and all three have designs on a young man raised as a chimpanzee. And we're going to have some Tim Robbins, and then returning champ Patricia Arquette, and then Reese Ifans, if anyone knows who that is. So I'm excited. I have not seen this movie, so
I've never even heard of it, but yeah, directed by Michel Gondry, written by Charlie Kaufman. This is Proto-Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Spike Jonze produced it, so it's a interesting progression from being John Malkovich for sure. Eventually, he'll get to direct his own movie.
Yeah, we're heading fast into Synecdoche, New York. It's gonna happen. Anyone who knows me, like top 5 movie right there. It's in my top 5.
Hell yeah. That's it, folks. That's it. We're spent. It's been a long podcast. I'm glad you joined us. If you made it to the end, this is probably the best Spring Breakers podcast on the internet. I'm making that claim now because I listened to some Spring Breakers podcasts and I was not impressed. Folks, I hope you're impressed by this episode and our genius professional research into this movie. Adam, do you have any kind words for our beautiful listeners who have made it through roughly an hour and 20 minutes of us babbling?
I love you all, and I hope you'll all come to my brisk.
Yeah! Woo! Invest in gold bars. Invest in gold. Get as many gold bars as you can, and then bury them under your bathtub. As I'm saying this, forget I'm saying it, but then do it. Build a hidden safe-like contraption under your bathtub. Fill it up with gold bars. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone your secret code or your password. You lock it up. When you take a bath at night, you'll be sitting on a financial safety net. I am talking to you robotic, so then it goes into your mind digital. 010101. I don't know. You'll be sitting on a gold mine.